We'll reconvene to open session. So we have two changes to the agenda. We are adding 5.11, kindergarten teacher position, and we are adding executive closed session meeting after the open meeting. So with that, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we're into public comments. Just try to refrain from using any personal names on this as much as we can. Mark Reith, first one up.
Thank you for allowing me to speak this evening. I just want to share some thoughts I have, and I guess I want to start with what seems to be a new buzzword: high reliability schools. Can I say Mr. Littner's name, or is that illegal? So Mr. Littner just sent out an email and talking about high reliability schools, and in there you said it's working in a collaborative environment, not from the top-down approach. And so as I read that, I thought back, my wife and I, we attend meetings or we watch you guys on TV. You guys are celebrities, and so we watch you, we rarely miss, and there's been a lot of talk about the reading curriculum. And I think back to, I've been here 40 years, so I'm before some of you were born, I know, but I feel our school was or has been that until recently. And the reason I say that is I think about how we used to get curriculum. And back before the recent years, the principal would contact companies and they would send us samples, and the teachers would go through those samples, and then we would meet as a group. All the teachers would meet as a group, and collaboratively we would look at the pros and cons of that curriculum. And really, we would weed some of them out that we knew we didn't want, and probably get it down to about 2 usually or so. And then again, the principal, once we had it down to 2, the principal would contact the company and ask if they could send a rep to the school to tell us about their program, and we could ask questions that they could answer. And from that, again, we would meet as a group, collaborate, and make a decision on what that curriculum would be. And I don't know, it's worked for years, and I don't know why we've changed now. And again, I think we have oodles and oodles of experience right here in this building that aren't given an opportunity to say this is what we really need. I would hope that, I feel we don't need CISA to help us. I don't think we need to pilot a program. I don't think we need little committees. I think we need the entire staff that's going to teach that curriculum to have a say in what I hope you guys hired these teachers and with the idea that you trust them to know what's good for the children of the school. And I've really believed that in the last few years that hasn't happened. With that, I heard a rumor, and again, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but heard a rumor there's going to be some PTO changes in which the Recruit and Retain Committee was not even involved in. Again, I don't see that as collaboration. That's one part I want to say, and then I want a quick other thing, and this is nothing against you, Dennis, or Tom, but I believe as a chairman, or in this case, president of a board, you have the authority to ask anybody sitting here a question during the meeting. And if I'm wrong, you can tell me that, but I believe you can. And I just feel there's times where maybe you could have done that. Like, for example, last month, I think some questions could have been answered by some of the people in here. But again, but I guess I'm just saying maybe think about that. And then the other thing is, over the years, I remember, and I don't know when this stopped, but at the end of a board meeting, again, the people in the audience and the public was asked if they had any comments then. And I think that would be good too, because actually last week I would have asked at the end of the meeting to say what I just said now. So I mean, that's just a thought. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. If you want to discuss this further, I'm going to have Chris actually give you a call, and you can discuss it further with him.
Sure.
And then he can bring it back to us.
Sure.
Then I think that'd be a great follow-up. Next up would be Kim Bremer.
Hello, good evening. So I just want to start tonight with a comment in regards to the relations with churches policy. Just perhaps something to consider in the future is asking those involved when drafting policy. Sending this out at 6 o'clock to head coaches on the Friday night before the Monday board meeting probably isn't the best stakeholder involvement. And is the policy necessary? I just think talking to the people that it involves the most would probably be better. This theme of asking for better active listening and collaboration with stakeholders is not only in our community, but also happening in Greenwood. Mary Denk, she asked that I share her public comments tonight. I just have a hard copy to share with all of you. Because she's sharing them at Greenwood's board meeting tonight, and she wanted both boards to hear the exact same comments. So I have a copy for all of you. And to be clear and full transparency, I didn't know Mary Denk until the collaboration, the community meeting. So there was something good that came out of them. New friends in our community. But in the interest of time, I won't read them, but I'll give a hard copy just for public record, okay? So you can all have them. So another example, you're set to approve changes tonight in the employee handbook regarding PTO. I did go through and look at it, and obviously Mark brought it up as well. And it's because of this increase in teacher absences. Yet when asked what metrics were looked at, no response was given to concerns from staff. And it was already brought up that it wasn't discussed at a recruit and retain meeting, just an email to the recruit and retain teachers 4 days ago in the Guiding Coalition. So many teachers haven't seen this change, and as a community member, a parent of a student here, I'm not so sure that taking 2 days away after contracts are signed, I think that's probably, we could look at that as a pretty disingenuous move. That really doesn't build trust, and I think that as a group, we can do better. I have a lot of faith in the board, and I know our admin can do better as well. It's ironic that the same is apparent a mere 6 miles away. When you look at Mary's comments, she starts out at last month's school board meeting. I'm sad to see that our administrations are still trying to push things through that are not a representation of what either community wants. The joint committee report was disappointing, to say the least. I'd like to point out suggestions that were made at the listening sessions that weren't mentioned in the report. Reach out to staff on suggestions and decisions, and expand the joint committee. And neither of those are brought up. At least it's not reflected in the minutes that were part of that meeting. The attitude of my way or no way is getting tiring. I was hoping for so much more from the listening sessions. However, I see that our administrations are just checking boxes and pushing forward with what they want to have done. School board members, please continue to take the calls, do your homework, and research items brought to your attention, because too often the issues are coming across to you as one-sided. And I would say that I probably couldn't say that any differently than what she has. It's just ironic. It's 6 miles away and it's the same thing. So I think our general feeling from both communities is just, we say that we want collaboration, but that also involves active listening and engagement. And I think you have a lot of people that want to engage and are ready. It's just taking the time and listening and doing it. So, thanks. Thank you.
Thanks, Kim. I can give you a call and we can further discuss that. Okay? Okay, we have to approve the minutes of the June meeting. So they should be on the board docs.
Not so much a correction, but one thing I wanted to add is last month we went ahead and hired Hannah Olson as a cross-country coach, and I made that recommendation, but I think we need to thank Jim Getterman for the years of service. I mean, I think he was a cross-country coach for a long time, did a lot of things. I don't know if the program's still here without him, so thank you, Jim, for everything you did.
Okay.
Agreed.
I agree.
So can I have a motion to approve the minutes of the June board meeting?
I move to approve the minutes of the June board meeting.
I'll second.
We have a Motion to approve, a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the June board meeting. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, say no. Motion passes. Financial reports. Our trusty treasurer.
All right, there's a few outliers here that are kind of large that need verification. School District of Granton, $45,219, and that is for a librarian that we share with Granton. Paul Booger Trucking, there was a $6,913 check, and that was for snow plowing in the parking lots for 22-23 school year. And then $11,064 to train, and these are the heating the heating system vendors, and apparently there's been numerous calls to them regarding the univents in May. That's it.
So those are the big changes. Does anybody else have any questions? Otherwise, we need a motion to approve the financial reports.
I'll make the motion to approve financial reports.
Second.
I'll say.
We have a motion and a second to approve the financial reports. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion passes. Off to new business. We need to hire an art teacher.
Yes, my recommendation is to hire Mary Krause. She is a retired art teacher from Greenwood a couple, 2 years ago. Is interested in coming back and helping us out?
Will that be a joint position then? Both schools?
No,
No,
just.
that's just
us.
gonna strict the loyal. Okay.
Yeah. So she'll be a middle school, high school art teacher. Susie DeBush will be a kinder or a elementary.
I'll make the motion to approve the art teacher.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second to approve the art teacher, Mary Krause. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion passes. So we have a cross-categorical teacher.
So our high school special ed teacher, I'm going to recommend Kristen Eckert from Marshfield.
I move that we approve, Kristen Eckert as the cross-categorical teacher.
Second.
We have a motion to approve Kristen Eckert as the cross-categorical teacher. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion passes. Now we have a Title I interventionist.
And my recommendation for a middle school interventionist is Amanda Roloff.
I'll make the motion to approve Amanda Roloff, our interventionist.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the Title I interventionist. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion passes. Now we have a kindergarten teacher.
My recommendation is to hire Shannon Funston as
I move that we approve Shannon Funston as the kindergarten teacher.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second to approve the kindergarten teacher. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, say no. We have a kindergarten teacher. Now we need to hire a food service assistant.
my recommendation for food service assistant is Brianna Dyer.
I'll make a motion to hire Brianna as the food service assistant.
I'll second it.
We have a motion to hire a food food service assistant, Brianna Geyer. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion passes. Now we need to approve the instructional coach assessment coordinator position.
Okay, we're looking at an instructional coach and a district assessment coordinator. The DAC is something that Lisa Waldhart did, so we were looking at joining this. These two positions and possibly adding something else to it as maybe a curriculum or something like that. So that is something that I'm working on. You can see what the job duties are there. DAC is basically responsible for all our testing, testing procedures and making sure everything gets done correctly. Scores, relaying that to administration, and then from there, teachers, working closely with the special ed staff and the principals to ensure and make sure we have everyone taking this and that we have the best environment. Parent notification, arrange proctors, sub-coverage for proctors and student room locations. So I'm not going to read all this. You can see, you can read, provide and print and provide test tickets, confirm appropriate accommodations in any student training, and then loading it into all the results in EduClimber. And then the other part, instructional coach, facilitate the intellectual and professional development of teachers is the big thing. We had Mr. Larson do this a number of years ago, and just kind of making sure our teachers have what they need, and if they need assistance of pointers here and there or whatever. But they're there for a good thing that we can utilize to
Would
help
this
out.
be part of like a mentoring?
I wouldn't call it a mentoring. I wouldn't call it. I think it's how can we make sure everyone is on the same ticket, you know what I mean, and same page, and that this is what Mr. Larson, and it wouldn't be just for new teachers, it would be for all teachers, you know, that we talk about videotaping, or they watch themselves, self-evaluations and things like that. This is something that they would work with them on, so.
Since it's a new position, where will the funds come from then?
So, we have a couple that, for like food service directors, we kind of have some money saved there because we are offering through other situations or other people. Part of Lisa's payment would be dealing with this too, so.
And ballpark figure, how much a year?
I'm not saying right yet.
Okay.
All right, I'm working on it, but I will be, as soon as we get it open, I will have that available, and which will be tomorrow, that we'll be talking about, getting it posted.
Okay.
That might be dealing with experience and what they have for certification and things like that, so. Okay.
Mr. Lindner, just a couple questions. One is, I've noticed throughout the description here, it looks like, a lot to do with, working with staff, with curriculum and other areas. So are you thinking that this person might also be a curriculum director, and then also working along with the Title I?
So that's something that we are.
And I assume it's
that we're-
also from 4K all the way through high school.
Yeah. So it is
It's a
with
full-
the entire staff. I think it's kind of who we get for this position, and we kind of talk to them about their comfort, but those are two other things that we were looking at possibly have them help us out with, so.
All right, What is your pleasure? Do you want to approve the instructional coach and assessment coordinator position, or?
I move to approve the instructional coach,
Second.
district assessment coordinator position.
We have a motion and a second to approve the instructional coach assessment coordinator position. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion passes. We have to approve a new assistant football coach.
So we have our middle school social studies teacher, who we just hired, is interested in, wants to help out with the high school football program. We do have room where we could put one more. So I'm recommending to approve Seth Schilling.
I make the motion to approve the assistant football coach.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve Seth Schilling as the assistant football coach. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion passes. Now you have to identify the curriculum standards for 23-24.
So what we will, like the previous years, we will follow the Wisconsin state standards for the 2023 school year. So, and that is something that we've been doing.
Okay. Can you update us on the summer maintenance projects?
Yes, so we were updating our room 99, or I'm sorry, room 13, and we had that issue with, at the end of last year with mold and moisture and vapor seals were not working. So those were all replaced, but there is still something there, so we are having ServPro come in, and they will come in, extract, vacuum, clean, seal the materials in the room, and make sure it is safe for both students and staff by the school year. So, so that is one big area. They will be in, I believe, August 8th. They are looking to start that. So they will be done August 10th, and the room should be ready to go. Or will be. So they will have to, they'll do a test before they leave to make sure everything, air quality and everything is good. Conrad Leap site was in testing the carpeting in room 99, special ed room right over here, and our band room. Both have carpet, both have, because we haven't dealt with it, have asbestos in the glue. So if we rip it out, we're going to deal with it. So, so we have two different quotes to remove it from both rooms. One from BRAC Thermal Asbestos was over $90,000 to remove that. We have another one from Asbestos Removal, just got today. They said they can do both rooms for $16,500. So.
That's a big difference.
So we compared it. It is apples to apples, and so.
Wow.
Right. Wow.
That's a big difference.
So there's just, that's the one we will be going with. So the band room, up to this point, the band room has had new lights and ceiling in it, getting that new floor, updating the walls, and practice rooms, and basically kind of giving it an overhaul update. Same thing with room 91. They replaced the ceiling and the lights, LED lights in both, and now they got to replace that flooring. The flooring has a wood floor underneath it, so they need to replace that, and then they will put down.
In the band room, are we putting carpet back in, or no?
No, they're going to put a type of tile, and that's why we are dealing with sound absorbing more on the walls and things like that. So because what it will do is it'll bounce off but Mrs. Cruxell made the good point of we keep draining and doing our instruments on the carpet, you know what I mean? They may have tins there and that, but just, so we won't let that. Okay, we got that. 4K rooms are being worked on, and the new 4K rooms. So they moved the north 4K room, which is where Allison is, or Mrs. Allison is right now. They moved the majority of that stuff down. We are making that into 2 rooms, 2 art rooms, one for elementary, and then there's a door that joins them. We talked about taking out the wall. We don't have time for that this summer. And then the high school will be over there. Middle school and high school will be in the west room. So kids can walk through. They don't have to walk through the gym. They should be able to walk through that room, get into the other room. Bell rings, they all are leaving at the same time anyway, so. So that is, we're working on that and getting that prepped. The 4K room down, the new 4K room is going to kind of be what it is right now. They're going to use that, the computer lab, as 2 rooms, and then next year we will get that situated the way we want it. So we are adding 2 sinks in them rooms, so that is something that was a necessity. So we talked to Barron's Affordable Tree Service, also gave us a quote on thinning out the 2 big maples in front. There's 4 smaller trees that are right by power lines right over here, kind of skimming them and making sure they're clear of that, and then taking that pine tree out by the concession stand. And then there's a couple in the playground area that need to be attended to, so probably removed. And then some limbs are kind of broken off, so they give us a quote for that. So I do believe it's like $3,200 is what, and that you got the quotes in there in your board docs. Air handlers, so we have the majority of them installed or finished being installed. We do have 3 that will not be here till September. One is the high school gym. So there are 3 that are out there that we will be waiting for to get delivered. So, but everything else,
So it'll be nice and hot in the gym.
it will be warm again until we get them situated. So, but I do believe it'll be a good upgrade throughout the building. I believe the only area that won't be air conditioned will be the hallways. So both staff rooms are getting hooked up with it, so. And then just lastly, the cleaning. So they have about 3 or 4 more rooms up in the upper elementary that they need to finish. And a bathroom, the boys and girls in the high school bathroom, and then they are done cleaning and waxing. So looking at the next 2 weeks that they're working on trying to have that done. And then teachers can get back in from there. I know Brad took out, or just emailed everyone that if they need to get in, just let them know, because they are doing some hallways that are finishing up. I think the lower one today, and then the upper one will be done, I'm hoping, early next week, so. Okay, but they are working, they're down a couple guys, and I feel they're working really hard to take care of business and get it ready for the beginning of school. That is what I have for updates there.
And so hopefully by our next school board meeting, we'll all get to go on a field trip, and we'll go to check out all these new things that we did. So hopefully everything will be done.
One question for Mr. Lindner. I know that a lot of work has been done in the baseball field area, and I know you've explained that, but just, I guess, it appears now the posts are pulled. I'm sure those will be out and.
That will all get cleaned up. That's what they're working on. They're really focusing on finishing up inside, and then get that done, then they will go out and get that stuff cleaned out. They got poles and from fencing and things like that, that will get cleaned up and,
Is that all getting taken away?
yeah.
Yeah.
So, as far as a baseball field, it's close. I know we have that, where it transitions into the outfield from the infield, needs some work yet. But I think that's for the most part, I think where we are. We have some doors that need to be put on the home dugout and, but it's close. As far as the concession stand, we're trying, like I said, we'll get all that cleaned up and then we'll look at getting at least that slab poured. And then students can start working, or however we're looking at that, they can help and do that. So when we're in session.
Okay.
Okay.
So if the pine tree falls the wrong way and just happens to go over top of that concession stand, nobody's going to cry.
So we will be using that until the other one is up and running.
Yep. Okay, administrative contracts.
I'd say we table that for this until we meet again.
Okay.
I make a motion to table administrative contracts.
We have a motion to table the administrative contracts.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Administrative contracts are tabled. Now, the purchase of a new floor auto scrubber.
All right, you can see, so the current scrubber that we have right now is 17 years old, going on 18. In talking with Brad, it's starting to nickel and dime us, and before it gets into too much, he is asking if we could purchase the T350, which is a stand-on. It's not a ride-along, it's a stand behind. And that is, I think he's got the demo for $15,000.
Are you going to add any of this, the wireless vacuum and batteries and chargers?
At this time, not right at this time. We're asking for
Just the demo unit?
just that unit and for right now.
Okay.
Knowing nothing about auto scrubbers, where is this in is it a mid-level auto scrubber, high-end? How does this compare? 15,000, can you spend 40? Can you spend 5?
How does this one compare to what they did? It's 50, so being a demo, we get the full service and warranty. No, I would say 18 or 19 is what a brand-new one would be. So they said they would back it, they would make sure that we are taken care of with this. So,
And this is the one Brad recommended?
yep.
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of the new floor auto scrubber.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second to purchase the new floor auto scrubber. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion passes. Now we need to discuss and approve the employee handbook revisions.
So, in talking with some teachers, I feel that we aren't in an area where we should do this tonight, I would suggest tabling it for the simple fact that, so have an opportunity to make sure we get the people that saw this options, that we can make sure everyone's on the same page.
You want to have a recruit and retain committee on this or not?
I would say a combination of meet with them and then, and even with the Guiding Coalition, get their more input from them. I've gotten feedback from 4 or 5 of them, so, and a couple of the recruit and retain committee members.
So you'd like to table this for now?
Yes.
Can I have that
I'll
motion?
make a motion that we table the employee handbook revision until next month.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to table the employee handbook revisions. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, say no. Motion passes. Now we have discuss and approve the game admission fee for 23-24.
All right, so you asked if I would talk to Greenwood, see what they're doing. They are charging $3 for admission at games, adults, for adults. Students, college students and 65 years and older are free.
So do you want to do the same thing that Greenwood does, or do you want to stick with free at Loyal, or?
I move that we do the same, $3, same as Greenwood.
Well, this year, 23-24, we're not co-oping on anything other than middle school football, right?
Correct.
Nothing, yeah,
So,
nothing.
so we could
do our own.
stay
We can do
free
our own.
this year, and if next year varsity sports are co-opted, then we should have the same prices,
That's true.
right?
Okay.
I mean, I guess that would be the way I would look at it. Because you don't charge for middle school football anyway, and we only have one home game, so I think it's a discussion for next year if co-op sports become a varsity thing. So I'll make a motion that game administration fee stay free for the 23-24 season, 24 school year.
I'll second it.
So we have a motion and a second to keep the game admission fees for 23-24 free and to discuss it next year. All those in favor say aye.
I was just going to make one point. I believe, I can't recall the exact dollar amount that we had in fees previously, but it's not a significant amount. I think that additional aid that we received more than offsets what we're going to be receiving if we were to charge, what we had previously
I
been
want to say it's
charging.
like 7,000 or 8,000 that we get from Gate for the year.
Yeah, so that's the only comment I wanted to make about it, so.
Okay. Any other comments? Seeing none, I'll proceed to vote. All those in favor of keeping the game admission fee free for 23-24, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion passes. So now we need the first reading and approve the IGDJ Athletic Code of Conduct.
All right, where did I put that? Okay, so Mr. Bell and Mr. Diekman have taken a look at the athletic code. There is a couple little updates on it from previous years. the high school academic ineligibility other than the fall season is 15 days, a minimum of 2 events, contests. 2 contests are new. Suspension from school during the season is 1 event, contest per occurrence. Previously, we had to track this for all students because it did not state during the season. Now, if they are participating athlete and get suspended, they sit. Complaint process, Mr. Bell stated it more clearly in the, more of a chain of command. They added the player and coach is what was added. So those are the updates. So then what we did was we also have, it was in our policy and procedure, and it was 2007 was the last time it was updated. So the policy committee took it and took the revised athletic code and will be our policy IGDJ. Wording, there's just a little bit of wording that was different, those 3 things, and from the previous, so we are updating that.
I move that we approve the first reading of the IGDJ Athletic Code of Conduct policy.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the IGDJ Athletic Code of Conduct. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, say no. Motion passes.
All right, next. What's your next agenda?
What's that?
Go to the
Next on the agenda would be the KMD relations with churches.
All right. So we went back and took a look at it. I would like to cross out, we talked about administrative approval for open gym on Sundays and practices on Sundays. It also said completed facility use form. I think we can cross that out for the simple fact that they will be contacting the AD or administration on this, and then the doors can be programmed open. You would know who is supervising that open gym or practice. So what else was there? Neither one of them can be mandatory, and it is not before 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday.
So would A be replaced with athletic director?
Administration, which would be,
Administration.
Yeah.
Okay.
would be him. If he's not available, one of us. Or we can talk. Or if it needs to come down to me, then it comes down to me.
So we're striking the completed facility use form?
Yes.
That's the, okay.
Yep.
I move to approve with the changes, the KMD policy.
We're just doing the first reading, aren't we? So we don't need to
Oh,
approve it
the
this.
first
yeah.
reading,
So
okay.
we don't need to approve anything tonight, just the, but discussion and,
Real quick clarification, just for my own. Middle school students may participate in non-mandatory supervised activities after school on Wednesdays until 5 p.m. Does that include bus time? If we get done in Greenwood at 5, do I have till 5:15 to get them back, or do they have to be back by 5?
They're supposed to be back by
Okay.
5.
That's, all right, thank you.
Okay. Any more discussion on that?
now was that also similar to what, I'm just looking ahead, Greenwood's policy is similar, the 5 o'clock and some of these other, I mean, with middle school, the high school goes till 6.
Yep. I don't know exactly what they're,
Okay, I didn't know if you'd compared that, but,
So should we do that?
what's that?
Should we line that up with them?
I think it's good right now, like this,
Okay.
and then if it becomes an issue, I can't tell you what theirs is right offhand.
Okay, so now we have the second reading and approve the policies. Oh my gosh. EEA, IKFB, IKD, DFE, KH, JFCK, BD, BDC, and GCLB.
So those are all,
Is that clear? Everybody's got it, right? Got it.
so those are all policies that we went over during the first reading. We went through it and saw the changes in.
Right. So can we approve all those policies as one, so that Dennis doesn't have to read that again?
I'll make a motion to approve all the policies as stated as one.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second to approve the second reading for policies EEA, IKFB, IKD, DFE, KH, JFCK, BD, BDC, and GCLB. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Thank you. We approve those. 22, 23, and 23, 24 budgets.
22, 23, auditors were here last week. They will have their report to us this week on whatever we have to put into Fund 46. Went very smooth. They were very happy, very few,
Bumps in the road.
yeah. So they just said it was very smooth process this year. So then I will let you know where we're at with, looks like we have something going into Fund 46. So I just don't have that exact number. We will have that. He said they would get it back to us this week. Okay. 23, 24 budget. Basically, just about everything is ordered from the budget packets. So I'm working on making sure where we're at with, we won't know a whole lot. We have a running average of 3 years on our enrollment. We'll know more in September when we do our third count in September of where we're at. Governor's budget bill will help us. So it'll take some time to figure that out where we're at and go from there. So get that rolling in our tax revenue limit worksheet and start figuring that out.
Okay. Any questions on that? Principals report.
Over just since the last meeting, obviously, from what you could tell earlier in the meeting, working to fill vacant positions and getting some good candidates and get those taken care of. Looking ahead, obviously, July has come and almost gone, so we're going to be heading into those days of August, and people are going to start coming back into the school, so really a lot of work just on filling any remaining vacancies. We'll be interviewing yet for a 4K paraprofessional. That got posted, so we got some applicants for that, so we're looking at doing that here coming up soon, in the first part of August. And then just confirming with our maintenance staff that the room's set up, that we have them complete, so the teachers can get in, get ready for the students to come. Finalizing, once we get back in August here, then just finalizing some of the schedules. We might be new students or students needing to change some things. looking at doing some work there. And then also just as far as our daily schedule goes, planning for those first couple days of school, knowing that it's going to look and feel a little bit differently, with the high school coming in on the 21st with middle school students, and then elementary having their open house, and then their first day of students then on the 22nd. Throw in pictures on open house and pictures for middle school, high school on the 22nd. So just mapping out all that, all this logistics of that. And then working through a few things here. Meeting with the pupil services team on August 9th, just to review student schedules and services that we know that we're covering for the 23-24 school year. And then been working with Jeff just on some kickoff stuff for PBIS for the elementary and middle school staff and students. What that's going to look like, what that plan is going to be, and how we want that to kind of kick off with the staff and get the staff involved with it, and at the same time how we want to kick it off with the students as well. That was one thing that was definitely heard this spring as we were closing the year out from a lot of the teachers, that this used to be something that we were doing more, and it was definitely a demand signal that they wanted to get back to doing some more stuff with that as well. So Jeff has a lot of good experience with that as well, so it worked out well to have him step in and kind of take that running. And then just sitting down with Jeff as we get into August here, and just to kind of map out, our daily kind of schedule and rhythm that we want to kind of create throughout the building with our staff and with our students. And then lastly, just prepping for those days back with the staff. Our PD days, our in-service days, some of that's going to be some high-level district stuff that Mr. Linder will take care of, but then we'll have our breakout meetings where we'll have elementary meetings, middle school and high school meetings. So just making sure we're prepared for all that, because the kids will be coming soon, and we just want to make sure we'll hit it running and going with full event. One other thing I just wanted to mention, we do have a trainer coming in, so Infinite Campus. So before the end of the school year, I was talking to Lisa Waldhart, and there's some features in Infinite Campus that, like notification features that we can get, so we can use to get messages out to parents that is from, since that's our management system, it's really easy and nice because all of the information is in there. So we have a trainer coming up to sit down and talk with Christy and Connie to look at those features. Some of it can be attendance. So if your kid's marked absent, and it can send an auto message out just on via text or email or both that lets a parent, guardian know that, hey, your kid was marked absent second period. So just to have them more aware. There's grade reports that you can set up that it'll message out to parents, because when we use a handheld device, it's not always easy to see all that stuff. Some people don't have laptop computers. So looking at ways to get it out in other means to kind of trigger them to get in and check Infinite Campus. So that'll be that first week, that first Friday in August that we'll have that training coming up. That's pretty much it.
Thank you. Superintendent's report.
I would like to take a minute and introduce Mr. Jeff Bell as our Assistant Principal and Athletic Director. So welcome, Mr. Bell. I'd also, you got any questions for him, or?
Why don't you just give us an overview of where.
You want to, can you? Never mind. All right.
This is all my.
Go right there. Yep, please.
I guess I'll stand, sit. That's fine. I'll stand here. I'll leave. All right. So I'm Jeff Bell. I'm originally from Marshfield. I grew up in Marshfield, graduated. Class of 2007, so you can do the math if you want to figure out my age. But I started my teaching career in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. My wife and I moved to Oshkosh after we got married. She got a job first. So I spent 10 years up there. Just for reference, the high school while I was there at one point was almost 2,300 kids in just the high school. So yeah, it's a different field, different demographic. But in that time, I got a lot of experiences that I felt really helped me for this position. I was a varsity girls basketball head coach for 7 years there. I was part of PBIS committees, like Tier 2, Tier 1, which I think is really what, from what I hear as a staff, especially at the elementary level, is trying to get that back into place. And an understanding of what that really is, and it's not just give a prize to the kid who's been naughty a bunch so they are good at this time, but truly understanding how to use it appropriately, and it's not just extrinsic motivation, but setting up proper behavioral guidelines and expectations, because I know sometimes that's a 4-letter word that people are afraid of, and so it's just doing it well into fidelity. From there, then I came back to Marshfield. The last 2 years I was there as a Phi Ed teacher as well, and we came back because we have a 6- and 4-year-old daughter. We want to be closer to my parents are 5 miles away from me, and my wife's family is in Wisconsin Rapids. So that community, that family feel is why I came back to Central Wisconsin. When I interviewed here, I think the interview was 2 hours. It didn't feel that long. I felt like family right away. I felt the dynamics of Loyal instantly, and I just fell in love with what I've heard. And kind of the people I've met and talked through the process. So I'm super excited to kind of be here and explore what Loyal has to offer. And so I hear, it's just like any board meeting, right? I hear things that people aren't happy about, things that we're doing really well. What I see though is people willing to change and to try to move towards getting in that direction. So that really excites me about Loyal. So that might have been longer than you wanted, but any questions for me? I guess I taught Phi Ed, I also taught leadership, I taught health, I taught middle school Phi Ed, I did some elementary for about 8-week stint Phi Ed as well. So I've taught all levels as well, dealt with all ages. Spent a lot of time with K through 12 with basketball program. I mean, we ran summer, spring, fall clinics working with all those age groups. I love working with the little ones. They bring back that energy and excitement after a long, grueling varsity season. So I'm excited that I get to kind of encompass all age groups. So.
Awesome. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
I'd also like to announce that Brad Graffender, he's our supervisor. He's our newly appointed maintenance and custodial supervisor. He's a Dasher employee, but he has got very good experience, wealth of knowledge, and I think he'll be very good. I think it's been a good thing working with him in the last month in his mission. I think reflects what we want, all right? So, elementary school reading curriculum for next year, we will be utilizing Reading Wonders. And we will form a committee to research other things this coming year, use this year as a research year for that, so. Lastly, that I have, and then our goal would be to have something for the 24-25 school year for reading. High reliability school. So 2 weeks ago, we had 24 educators from Greenwood and Loyal school districts venture to Cedar Rapids, Iowa, to attend a high reliability school institute offered through Solution Tree from the work of Robert Mazzarano. Both districts have made the commitment to work toward becoming a recognized HRS school, and we are sharing a little bit more what that means tonight. And then it will also be in my newsletter come Wednesday. At the end of last school year, our staff, 100% of our staff participated in a learning about professional learning communities. It was a professional development that we did together to doing inverse, in-service, and going through Global PD, and reading a book called Learning by Doing. First steps to becoming this type of school is essential, creating a professional learning community. The first 3 leading indicators, which I handed to you right there, and then we will get this out to others, is level 1, which is our first goal, safe, supportive, collaborative culture. Level 2, effective teaching in every classroom, and level 3, guaranteed and viable curriculum. So we will be focused on level 1, but understand that 2 and 3 levels will be intertwined with level 1. There are clear lagging indicators that will be used to measure our growth and success for each level. So August 15th, we have a representative coming, and they will be talking to both staffs and all staff, teaching, custodial, everyone, and talking about HRS and how do we establish that safe, supportive, collaborative culture. Mr. Reith did talk a little bit about top-down. We have been in a top-down due to COVID. We need to move forward from that and make it into a collaborative model that strengthens communication, increases stakeholders' voice, and ensures learning for HRS, provides a good framework for this. So this is what we're working towards. We've heard this for the last few months, so this is what we're working towards with that. Both districts are sharing the journey for several reasons. One major reason is that by sharing, that provides both districts with great reflection opportunities to learn from one another, and what's working, what isn't working, and having that collaboration partner in all aspects of our teaching. If something is working better in one, then we can inform, we can work, we can collaborate and make sure, how can we make it go all the way through? And I think that's where we kind of stepped when we did these, our joint in-service. We did get into it a little bit, but you can definitely see that we will work more towards this on dealing with these, this level 1 indicator, leading indicator. So it was a very good institute, and it's starting us off on our journey that we work collaboratively together. So excited for the 15th, excited for where we're going with it. Okay, that's all I have.
All right, set meeting dates.
August 23rd would be our,
23rd would be next school board meeting. 6 and 7 again?
August 23rd?
Yep.
Yeah. Let me get a hold of those 3 tomorrow and see what works.
Routine.
Alrighty. Thinking maybe early next week,
Okay.
but I'll let you know. I'll
Yep.
email you 3. Okay.
Do we need any other ones, or?
Just a reminder, we have the governance training tomorrow night, and again, August
2nd.
2nd. So that was the joint governance training with Greenwood.
So we'll meet over in the their cafetorium? No, it'll be their library. I think they're doing something with their cafetorium, so.
Where is that?
So go all the way to the cemetery, take a right, and you drive down, you'll see the parking lot right there. Their entrance faces the cemetery.
Okay.
Come in there, and then the library's right to your right.
So like that main entrance there?
Yeah, but on the west end.
We're in the west end, kind of down
So
there.
go all the way down to the cemetery.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right.
Take a right.
Yep, and then you'll see the parking lot there.
Same.
That's tomorrow night at what time?
6:30.
6:30.
Same time on the 2nd?
Yep.
Will that one in the second be in Loyal, or will that be in Greenwood also?
That one will be in Loyal. We're talking about in here, I don't know if that's going to work for sure, so
Okay.
I will find a location for sure.
Is that all we got?
Yes.
All right.
Did you want to ask the public if they had any comments?
Well, we can, but it's not on the agenda.
I suppose. I guess.
Can't do it until it's on the agenda.
I guess.
So, can I have a motion to,
I make a motion to adjourn open session and reconvene to closed.
Second.
we have a motion? It's gotta be roll call, right?
Yep.
Holly?
Here.
Derek?
Yep.
Tom?
Yes.
Skylar?
Yep.
Gary? Dennis?
Yep. All right, that's it for our meeting tonight.